everybody, Legend for Life here, bringing guys a brand new deck profile. This time around is my cubics, and as many of you guys know, I love cubics, and I've been really tinkering around with a lot of builds, and this build I've been playing around with a lot for the past week or so on YgoPro, and I even went ahead and got the cards in real life, because honestly I was only missing 4 cards to build it in real life, and I was like, screw it, why not? And this build works incredibly well, but it also plays very differently from standard cubics, or at least the last version of cubics that I played, or rather I should say that I did the deck profile on, whereas that was standard cubics, which, focuses on the actual playstyle of the deck. This focuses mostly on just getting out Duza, using his effects, search and dumping stuff, and it just is really, really crazy and can spam and just do a lot of things and really troll your opponent. And heck, I feel like that, maybe with some other things in it, as you guys know, I always take your guys' opinions and recommendations into consideration whenever I do these. So maybe with some tinkering around and maybe somebody who's just better at the game than me, I feel like that cubics could actually really top a regional or two. Now, with that being said, though, it's mostly because of this guy right here, Crimson Nova, who is easily one of the best boss monsters in the game. Yes, I'm making that assertion because he is just so amazing. Okay. And I'll get onto that whenever we get to the deck profile, but it's mostly because of Crimson Nova that this deck is able to do so well. So, onto the actual deck profile. First and foremost, we got 3 Crimson Nova, the Dark Cubic Lord. Crimson Nova is, as I said a few minutes ago, well, not even a few minutes ago, a few seconds ago, is easily one of the best boss monsters in the game. He is super easy to summon. All you have to do is reveal 3 other cubic cards in your hand. To special summon him, they have to be different names. And they can even be other copies of him. He has 3,000 attack power, no defense, which kind of sucks, the no defense part, because literally just a Pokemon can kill him, but that doesn't really come up too much. Now, he has 3,000 attack power. He can attack 2 times in a battle phase provided he kills a monster. He is completely unaffected by all activated monster effects that have 3,000 or less attack power. So your opponent can't effect failure him, they can't Castell him, they can't Kieran him, they can't touch him with anything with 3k or less attack. So heck, if they summon BLS, their only option is to run it into him. Same thing with Judgment Dragon, other stuff that have similar, attack power and are well-known boss monsters. And in addition to that, at the end phase, you and your opponent both take 3,000 damage at the same time. And that can trigger, freaking ties. I've never done it, but a friend of mine has, and it was funny. So this card is just absolutely amazing. Now, the sad part is that burning effect you can only use once per duel. I mean, not once per turn, once per duel. Once per turn, and it's a hard once per turn, so even if you have multiples of them out, you can't just burn for 9k and just tie the game, which would be hilarious. But yeah, other than that, he is just absolutely amazing and absolutely needed at 3 because he is your main boss monster. Next up, I play 3 Duza, the Meteor Cubic Vessel. This guy is also amazing. Basically, whenever he's normal or special summon, you can send any cubic card from your deck to the graveyard. He is 16 by 16, and he has some other attack gaining effect where if a monster goes to your graveyard during your first turn, you can have him gain 200 attack power for each differently named monster in your graveyard till the end of the turn. That doesn't really come up too often, but it actually can really help out with LTKs and stuff. He's just overall really amazing, and believe it or not, but because he's a machine, he's even better. Next up, we have 3 Vijam the Cubic Seed. I've been debating between 2 and 3 of him in this build, but I'm going with 3 because I feel like he's absolutely needed at 3. He's along with Duza and Crimson Nova, is easily one of the best cubic monsters. So he flat out cannot be destroyed in battle. And whenever he battles an opponent's monster, you can put him into your back row. Your opponent's monster gets a cubic counter. That monsters with cubic counters cannot attack and their effects are negated. And then if he's in your back row, you can special summon him into your front row. Really, really, really good monster. You mostly just use him for dumping stuff with the cubic spell card, cubic karma, and a few other things, mostly just as kind of just there for names and stuff. Now then, for monsters I play 2 of, I play 2 gold and 2 silver gadget. So the reason why I do this is because they facilitate just rank 4 plays mostly. Their effects, if you guys don't know, whenever they are summoned, you can special summon any Level 4, I believe it's just does it have a level 4? Level 4 machine type monster from your hand. So it could be like, for instance, another gadget. I think it cannot be itself, right? Oh no, it can. Cool. So yeah, it mostly is for rank 4 plays, and because it works with Duza, who is a level 4 machine. So you can go for all sorts of stuff. This allows you to play stuff like Gear Gigant X, so you can just dig through your deck even more. They both have destruction effects, where if they're destroyed, you can special summon a gadget from your deck, except for itself. That doesn't really come up like ever, but hey, it's nice. Next, I play 2 Summoner Monk. He is absolutely essential in this deck. You ditch a spell card, special summon Duza. Oh, hey, Duza sends a dude to the graveyard, and then, hey, look at that, you just plus like crazy. Really, really, really good card, especially since, generally speaking, the spell card that you ditch is Cubic Karma, which is absolutely amazing in your graveyard, because it's the search card. So, really, honestly, this guy is absolutely necessary at 2. And if he ever goes to 3, I think that you would probably even want to play 3. Like, it'd be really hard not to play 3. Next up, I play 2 Max C, just simply to help dig through the deck, and it's a rogue deck. You need all the cards you can get as into your hand as possible, and well, generally speaking, you almost always go second with this deck. You never want to go first. So therefore, being able to go second, you're able to max C, capitalize off of your opponent's plays, and can really just kind of skirt them over and make them not want to go through with all of your plays. And, you know, just being able to catch up with them. And hey, look at that, you now have access to 3 Crimson Novas and, you know, just summon them all and attack for game. I did that, not last night, but last week with Cubics in tournament. That was funny. Now then, for cards I play one of, I play 1 Buster Gundel and 1 Indiora Doomvault. These guys are the only other Cubics that I play in the deck that are monsters. Mostly for their destruction effects, because you summon them off of Unification or Rebirth, and then, oh hey, let them die, special summon 3 Duza, or any combination of Duza and Vjam, and then search a card. Really, really good cards. I haven't summoned them yet in this build. I haven't summoned them with their own effects yet in this build, mostly because I haven't really needed to, but they're still really good in this deck. And if you don't know what they do, they need to send 3 Cubics from your field to the graveyard, special summon them. Doria becomes 24 and burns your opponent for 800. Buster Gundel becomes 3k and can attack 3 times. And if they're destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon any 3 Cubics from your graveyard, and then search out a Cubic card from your deck to your hand. I felt like I should probably mention it. Then, finally, I play 1 Gen X Ally Birdman. For one thing, I think he's limited, so like I'm like 95% sure he's limited. But even then, you'd only really need 1, even if he was semi-limited. Maybe at 2, maybe possibly if he was at 2. But anyway, so what he does is you bounce back your Duza, and then like you can spell summon him, and he's a tuner. So that's really good. Now the big reason why bouncing back Duza is good is because with Duza, like let's say for instance you haven't special summoned yet, you haven't normal summoned yet this turn, so you already have Duza out, you return him, and let's say you have Unification in your graveyard, you banish Unification, special summon stuff. Really, really, really powerful plays, not to mention being able to get access to like level 7 synchros like Black Rose and stuff is really good, especially with Black Rose Dragon going into Zodiac format, because Zodiacs just lose real hard to mass destruction stuff. So, yeah, Black Rose is going to get even better next format. Now then, onto the spells. I play triple Cubic Karma. Cubic Karma is easily one of the best spells in the deck. I actually think that, like, all of the Cubic spell cards, which I think there's only a total of 2, so both are really, really good. So Cubic Karma, what it does is it has a really nice on-field effect with attack gaining stuff by sending V-Johns from your field, hand or deck to the graveyard, and then giving the targeted Cubic monster 800 more attack for each, so 24 at max, which is a lot of attack power. But the main thing that you use it for, if it's in the graveyard, you can banish it, add a Cubic monster from your deck to your hand, which is amazing. Just being able to get stuff. And hey, if you happen to have like Omega, you can totally play Omega in here with like some other tuner other than just Gen X Ally Birdman, and you can keep putting this back in your graveyard from your banish zone and just keep searching. It's really stupid. But anyways, it also has a nice little opponent half-lifing effect, but it never happens, so yeah. Next up I play triple Cubic Wave. Cubic Wave, you target 1 Cubic monster you control and 1 monster your opponent controls, double your Cubic monsters, half your opponent's. This card is freaking amazing. It's not once per turn. It has another effect where you can banish it from your graveyard and any number of cubics and put cubic counters onto your opponent's stuff. And they, of course, you know, monsters with cubic counters cannot attack and have their effects negated. So this card is just flat out amazing. Neither of its effects are once per turn. So you can activate all three, double your Crimson Nova to 6,000 a second time into 12,000, and then a third time into what, 24,000. That is scary, 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 scary. Now granted, that never really happens where you actually get to play 3, because it's normally just play 1, win the duel, pretty much. But it's a very, 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 very powerful card. Next up, I played 2 Twin Twister. I almost said MST. This is basically MST, but times 4. So basically what this card is, everybody knows what it does. Discarded cards, but destroy spell or trap, well, up to 2 spell or trap cards. Almost everything wants to be in the graveyard in this deck. Well, almost every spell and trap card stuff wants to be in graveyard, so really, really nice. 2 instant fusion for making Norden, and hey, you have an extra if you want to discard it with Summoner Monk. And then once Raging Tempest comes out and we get Theseus, you can also go into Theseus with it, which is pretty nice. 1 day apiece, being able to dig through your deck a bit faster. Same thing with Upstart Goblin. And then 1 reoccurring Nightmare, just simply to be able to grab back your Crimson Novas, your V-Johns and stuff. And then 1 day apiece, sorry, not 1 day apiece, 1 for 1 to be able to special summon V-John from your deck. I've actually been thinking about dropping this because I just never need it. I usually just end up discarding it for Summoner Monk or setting it and letting it get destroyed for back row bait. Over there. Alrighty, now for traps, I play triple unification. Not so much for the fusing effect, because this card is basically polymerization in trap form. But the main effect is the engrave effect, where if a cubic monster you control leaves the field, you can banish this card, special summon any level 4 or lower cubic, ignoring its summoning distance from your hand or deck. Very, very, very powerful card. Oh yeah, and then also that card that you special summon can't be destroyed by battle or card effects for the rest of the turn. So you can just, it's like the ultimate chum blocker. You will not have to worry about taking much damage at all while this card is in your graveyard, unless your opponent makes Utopia to Lightning, in which case you're kind of screwed. But either way, this card is really, really good. It's usually one of the first things that you want to dump with Duza. If not this, then Karma, definitely. You almost never have to dump Wave. In fact, you almost never should have to dump it. Except for a few times. But seriously though, this card is amazing. I just wish I had 3 Ultras instead of one of those crappy gold rares, because it looks like crap. Anyways, oh yeah, that's not the only traps. Then I play, this is my ultimate tech choice ever. Magical Hats! This card is amazing in this deck. It actually won me a game the other day, and it almost won me a game against DDDs, but I misplayed as to which 2 spell cards I selected. So what this card does is, well, granted, everybody should know what Magical Hat does, but if you don't know, during your opponent's battle phase, you activate this card, select 1 monster you control. Then select and special summon 2 spell or trap cards from your deck, okay? They are treated as monsters with that are level 1, 0 attacks, points, 0 defense, and they're face down, okay? And then you shuffle your face down monster and those 2 spell or trap cards. You shuffle them on the field, and then your opponent must have to attack them. At the end of the battle phase, if your opponent didn't destroy your spell and trap cards, they are destroyed and they can never exist outside of the battle phase of this, well, of the turn you activate this card. I don't know why it has to specify that, but basically those 2 cards then get destroyed. The big thing about this is not only does it protect your monsters, kind of. It depends on if your opponent has a lucky guess or not. But it gets your cubic spell and trap cards into the graveyard really fast. This card, I love it. It trolls people. People don't expect it. Unless like people like happen to know what you're playing and see it. And a friend of mine, he destroyed it in the tournament. Anyway, so yeah, this card is really, really good. It'll probably get replaced by Foolish Burial with Belongings, but even then, I kind of want to keep playing it even after Foolish Burial with Belongings comes out, because this card is so hilarious. I love it. And then for the last trap card, 1 Cubic Rebirth. Really, really good card. I mostly play it for the name, and also it is a really good card in general. So basically, when your opponent declares a direct attack, you can activate this card, negate that attack, then special summon as many copies as possible of the monster that your opponent attacked with to your opponent's side of the field. They all get cubic counters, they all have their attacks dropped down to 0, and they all have their effects negated, and they cannot attack. That also includes the one that was attacking you. And then you can special summon one level 4 or lower cubic monster from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions. Really, really, really good card, being able to defend you. And yeah, sure, your opponent gets some monsters, but they all have 0 attack points. And 9 times out of 10, you're using this on extra deck monsters, and they don't get anything out of that. So they literally have just a 0 attack point monster out on field, and then hey, look at that, you can just summon Crimson Nova next turn and be like, haha, 3k to your face. So really, really good card for this deck. I love it. The only reason why I don't play it at 2 is because, honestly, you almost never really have cubic monsters in your hand. But oh well, having extra names is always nice for Crimson Nova. Alrighty, now into the extra deck. And I'm going to be honest, the extra deck is really open. You can play pretty much whatever you want in the extra deck, especially since you got access to Synchros, Xyz, Norden, all this other crap. So really, honestly, the extra deck comes down to mostly your opinion and what you feel like is really good for playing. Now, keep in mind though, this is my version, so yeah. Anyway, so one deck of Storm Emeralds is for mostly being able to cycle back Duzas and stuff, get them back in the deck, as well as also anything else that I might want to recycle, like Maxi, extra deck monsters. I honestly end up tending to use this on Utopia and his forms, so yeah, that's kind of just funny. One Anti-Topian, mostly just simply to hard counter Utopia. That, and also, honestly, I don't have that many good, like, first turn Xyz, so I'm just like, okay, I'll make this guy and hope to God I don't get OTK'd. If you guys don't know what he does, he basically has Utopia's effect, where, oh, hey, your opponent attacks, you can detach Xyz material, switch that monster to defense. But it has another really cool effect in Grave, where during your first turn, if there's a Utopia monster on the field, you can special summon from your graveyard, then attach a Utopia monster on the field to him as Xyz material. So, like for instance, oh hey, your opponent makes Utopia Lightning, this guy's in your graveyard, and they go into battle phase, you activate his effect before they attack, special summon him, attach Utopia Lightning to him as Xyz material, and then they're just kind of like, oh crap. One Castel, one 101, one Gear Gigant X, because you can search out the gadgets or Duza. Generally speaking, you want to search out Duza. Utopia, Utopia Prime, Utopia Lightning. Then also, because we have level 10s in Crimson Nova, one Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon, Gustav Max, just for even more burn damage if somehow your opponent didn't die from Crimson Nova. And then one good old Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon, Super Dora, the Explorer. Okay, so that's it for the Xyz. Total of like three synchros. One Black Rose Moonlight Dragon for being able to just disrupt your opponent. One Black Rose Dragon for being able to nuke your opponent. One Clearwing to, well, just simply say, screw you, opponent. I love this card so much. He's one of my favorite synchros in the game. For fusions, one Norden, and then, well, just one good old Crimson Nova Trinity, the Dark Cubic Lord. You don't ever summon him in this build. I summoned him once, and that was just because I thought, hey, it'd be funny. I mean, I had game anyways, even without him, but I was like, screw it, why not? And then there was another time where I could have summoned him, but I had game anyways, and I didn't want to risk, you know, waiting a whole turn to set the trap card, activate it, fuse, all that crap. So you don't really summon him, but you play him just in case. That's the big thing. Granted though, once Raging Tempest drops, I will be having a new version of Crimson Nova Trinity Turbo, so keep an eye out for that. I don't think I'll be able to pick up any, like a huge amount of Raging Tempest at Sneak Peek Day. It depends on how things go. So we shall see. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or any recommendations for what I could do with this deck, please leave your comments down below in the comment section. I do read the comments. I don't always reply, but I do read them. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Peace out and goodbye.